Welcome back, SethBling here. Today's probably going to be a shorter stream, but I'm going to do some more Kill Bowser runs. Yep, that's really all I have to say about that. Oops. Anyway, I'm just doing some warm-up right now. There's a couple things I just want to practice, and I figured might as well get the stream going just so that people have a chance to filter in before I start the actual runs, because I don't actually want to start doing runs right away. Kind of would suck if I got a new world record and there were only like 5 people watching because it was right at the beginning of the stream, that sort of thing. So need to do some warm up. Let's just do it now. What's up, Nordy? I'm just gonna do a save state right here. Yeah, I need to figure out how to do that. Like, sometimes I can do this okay. I think I need to go farther ahead, stop, make sure I like come to a full stop. It's like really hard to grab that Koopa without going onto the ledge. You just need a really short jump tap. Anyway. Sometimes I can do it consistently. Oops. I wanted to ask my thoughts regarding the bot and its commands. Let me take a look at that in a sec. Yeah, I disable follow age. No, that's really the only thing. Just like the only use of that command is to spam. There's features and plugins that do it, and like whatever. I don't know. Really didn't need to be a command. Like I think it was probably more of you just implemented it because it was a cool thing you could do with the API, but it just causes the chat to fill up with follow age spam. That's the only reason. If it's something where you could like tell the bot follow age and it told you privately, like didn't spam the chat, I wouldn't mind it. I'm not saying that you should do that necessarily because I don't know if people would actually use it, but yeah, I think you have to have a plugin like Better TTV to actually see people's follow age by clicking on their names, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, the stream just started, so there's not a lot of like people are still kind of filtering in. There's not a lot of viewers right now. I also didn't tweet or like put a thing on notice on YouTube that I was streaming. Just because it's going to be a short stream and I just felt like getting started rather than like worrying about putting together a tweet. Yeah, a little bit of practice on this goes a long way on this stuff. Like a little bit of warm up, that is. I was software development engineer too before I left Microsoft. Give me the Koopa. SDE2. What's up, everybody? Who made this ROM hack? I did mostly. There is a bit of code in there written by .cool to do the save states, which are a pretty important feature of the ROM hack. Though I could have also used Super UFO save states to accomplish that. So it's not like critical, but it's very nice, especially for people who don't have a Super UFO, because like there are devices that'll allow save states, but they also interfere with the credits warp, so you can't like do the full credits warp run So it's really nice to have the save states built into the ROM. Oops, I think I need to go one more pixel. And then there, okay. That was actually, that worked. Gotta get that fireball off screen. Yeah. I hear what you're saying, Nordy. Starting work on Monday. Oh, that's exciting. Good luck. This also is something that can use a little bit of warm up, jumping into the Bowser, jumping into the cloud. It's like very timing precise. Wins ball skip. I don't know. Ball skip seems like a lot of extra difficulty for very little added like time save. I don't know what the actual time save is, but I think it's probably less than a second. That's my instinct. I shouldn't have jumped so high. Basically, the time save from ball skip is you get to save one ball drop and you lose one extra Koopa or Mecha Koopa throw. And so it's the difference between those two times, and like the animation doesn't seem like it's that different between those two. Writing cybersecurity training courses. Oops. I wasn't paying enough attention. Not quite. Whoops. This part is really hard. Okay. Yeah, warm up here is... That's good. Ugh, I got it. Nice. That was good. You hate when people say coding is hard. Yeah, I agree. That's like, that can mean a lot of different things, and like, yeah, writing like maintainable, efficient, bug-free code is like not easy. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of skill and a lot of experience. I certainly don't hate it when people say coding is hard, because it includes all that stuff. Writing code well is hard. I don't know that it's necessarily... It's not exactly that it's hard. I wouldn't say it's that it's hard, it's that it's... Well, okay. I don't know. Hard is kind of a weird word to use for it, but I certainly don't, like, begrudge the like, idea behind saying that it's hard. Takes time, effort, and I think experience. A lot of experience. And so I think that does like actually mean it's hard, but like it's... Alright, I think I'm okay on this. Yeah, just a little bit of warm-up helped a lot for sure. Oops, I set the save state a little too late. Yeah, if I like, so my goal is to throw the second Koopa up so that it insta hits him as soon as his hitbox becomes active again. But if I like jump too late, then that becomes like not really possible. And Also, if like the clown car gets too low in the sky, it's even better to just like do this and let it bounce back up, because the lower Bowser's clown car is, here I'll try and do it here. Oops. Like that didn't really do it. Here. That could probably do it. No. Okay, yeah. See how long it takes for the clown car to like rise up? It's way more efficient to let him bounce and then get back up to the top of the arc. I'm not really sure where the break-even point is, like how much he has to like drop before it's more efficient to let him bounce. I should actually time that out. Like here, it would definitely be more efficient to let him bounce. Like that was way more efficient than waiting. All right, I think I'm gonna do some runs. No signal. Hopefully it picks up the signal pretty soon here. No. Oh no. Okay, cool. If it waits too long to pick up the signal... Oh wait, no, I guess there was a signal from my capture card, so it was fine. Alright. Runs. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I tried to play around with the audio delay. So I gave it a 200 millisecond. Basically, I delayed the video from the capture card by 200 milliseconds. So, yeah, we'll see if that kind of made the audio look a little bit more in sync. I don't know. Whoops. I don't know if it was a constant delay, though. Did I get disco? Maybe I'm just so good at getting disco I don't even notice anymore. What's up, Zanzibar Hotcake? Yeah, I like PB Chance a lot, especially for like longer categories with more splits. I think it's like a little bit more informative with those, but I like having it on my stream, and I really like having it on, like, watching other people stream with it. There's a few other people that use it sometimes. But I think 0.22 is way too low, actually. I think my PB chance is much higher than that. Disco. Yeah, I'm still the world record holder. Yeah, I streamed on Wednesday and got 2 new world records. Okay, here we go. Nice. Cool. Oh no. I have to like do this stuff. This is gonna be really slow though. Alright, at least I loaded all the Koopas. Oops. Don't have a lot of time here. That was really good. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Given that the 2 Koopas fell off the ledge there. One more pixel. There we go. Okay. Uh-oh. Had to like dodge Yoshi getting on Yoshi. Alright, there was a little sloppiness in there, but pretty happy to be warping to Bowser on the like 2nd or 3rd run of the stream. Yeah, we don't do the 41 eat anymore. If you just hold up while eating the left berry, you get 64, which is one of the allowed values. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh. No. Okay. Yeah, that was really awkward. I mistimed the cloud throw and did it too early. And that was bad. And then I tried... It was still salvageable, but I didn't salvage it. Yeah, at this point, the route is like... That made the route considerably easier and less risky. It's like pretty cool right now because there's not a lot of risk beyond the first like 20 seconds of the run or whatever. Like doing the Koopa bounce here and then the block dupe. Once you get past those, like you have a really good chance of actually warping. Disco. You don't understand why this category isn't run more. It seems really cool. One of the biggest reasons that it's not run more is that it requires 2 multi-taps, which is hardware most people don't have because there's really no other reason to have 2 multi-taps. Except for also the credits warp category. But this run's really good so far. Oh, I needed 2 pixels. No! Ah, that was a little slow. Oh, that was pretty quick overall, except for the first pixel. Oof. Oh my god, please. Kept moving 2 pixels there. Oh, god. That barely ever happens. Okay, well. Yeah, basically I was on a bad subpixel and I went too far left. I think that's okay. Just barely okay. Okay, so I figured out what's up with the message box too. And basically there's a timer that gets initialized essentially to 255. So you have to wait 255 frames when you get the message box before it'll take you to the Bowser fight. And there's really not much of a way around that. What's interesting though is that if you don't start a new game and you start a run from like the overworld, the timer is much shorter because it gets initialized to a different value than 255. So there's like sometimes throughout Super Mario World history, there's been talk of starting runs not from a new game, but from like a 0 exit file. And in this category, it would save a lot of time because you could get the message box rather than dying on the mole. You could get the message box and it'd be faster than dying to the mole. That's the first finished run of the day. Not a great run, but Finished one. Yeah, I have 4 controllers plugged in total. 1 I'm using to play the game, and then 3 have buttons clamped down. No, Geno, I don't generally drink white rum before streaming. Alright, we played the credits. It's a real run. I guess I should also delay, since I had the video delayed by 200 milliseconds, I should probably also delay the, what's it called? Live split by 200 milliseconds so that it matches up with the video. I didn't drink before the stream for the double world record. I drank after each of the world records. I didn't start the timer. That's okay. Anyway, this category is fun. Like I said, there is the fact that you need 2 multi-taps. If you're going to run it on emulator, then BizHawk supports emulating 2 multi-taps, so that's fine. But it's also a little daunting to learn because it's like a really weird technical category. It's not what you see is what you get like most speedruns. You have to like worry about things that are hard to see. Disco. Like the like Y velocity of Yoshi eggshell fragments when they despawn, for instance. Like you can't see that. You just have to know the setup to get that to work and be consistent. And so for most people who do speedruns, it's just like very, very daunting to think about trying to learn this category because it just seems like magic. It turns out it's not very hard to learn because I have a pretty good route doc and the practice ROM makes it really easy to like figure out how to get the values you need to get. I don't think that Koopa bounce was good. Am I sure enough that it wasn't good to reset? Nah. Let's keep going. Might not have held up long enough there. Ugh. This is probably gonna crash. Yeah. Is this run always successful if you try, or is there RNG of some sort? So there's no real RNG. The Koopa bounce at the beginning is very precise and difficult to land correctly. And then the block dupe, well, the block dupe is basically RNG. It's basically 50-50 RNG if you do the right inputs. But it's not technically RNG. I don't know. Jump too late anyway. And then at the very end, the item swap, if you bonk the chuck, that ruins the run, and that's pretty hard to control, but that is actually, I think, something you can control with your technique, so. Anyway, I guess the block dupe is the main, like, thing that's really out of your control. Then there's some things that are impossible to really be precise enough to do 100% of the time. Okay, that was really slow. Okay, salvaged. That if Yoshi eats the berry there, it's over. That's quick. Oof. Oh my god. Okay, that was fine. Okay, those were not very good spits. Yikes. Overshot by a pixel. Why does Yoshi sometimes launch like that? Honestly, I have no idea. Oh yeah. Cool. It's okay. Just wanna touch you. It's okay. Good boy. That was slow. Okay, that's salvageable technically. If I can get... It's really frustrating. Man, it can be just so frustrating to try and get on the right pixel sometimes. If you overshoot by a pixel, like, Yoshi still has to be facing that direction, so you have to, like, try and go back by 2 pixels and then forward by 1 pixel, and it's just really hard to do that. Disco. The game runs at 60.08 frames per second. And all the game logic runs every frame. So it's, the tick rate is 60.08 hertz. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why Super Nintendo games are like sometimes a lot more pleasant than N64 games. First of all, like the 3D graphics were in their infancy and it was like they didn't look very good, but also a lot of those games had like 20 or 30 FPS, whereas Super Mario World and, well, every SNES game essentially had 60 FPS. And it just looks a lot better and feels a lot better, feels a lot more responsive and stuff. That's why it was so exciting when Twitch got 60 FPS, Twitch and YouTube. The game looks so much better at 60 FPS. Disco. Bender was made in Tijuana, if I recall. Bender Bending Rodriguez. Okay, that was good. The shell didn't like bounce on the block, and I was also immediately in a spot where I could do the block dupe. That was like pretty ideal. Usually I have to adjust to be able to do the block dupe because I overshoot the blocks by a little too much. I don't know if that Koopa bounce was okay. Huh, okay. Actually didn't really expect that to work. For some reason, I'm not sure why. Okay. Shoot, okay. That was so slow. What is going on with my... I'm having a really hard time getting the right pixels today. I feel like I'm trying to wear a, like, I feel like I'm trying to pick a lock while wearing a giant, one of those giant foam #1 hands. Like, this controller feels so clunky for moving 1 pixel at a time. How does the block dupe work? To my understanding, the disco, like, the shell decides whether or not, like, basically the shell has some code that determines if it hit a block, and if it did, it like changes the tile that it's on from from like a question mark block to a used up question mark block and does whatever power up effect. But if the shell's at like a pretty specific set of coordinates, instead of changing the tile where the power up box actually was, it changes the tile where like the hitbox for the shell is, which will be a different tile, and so it like basically generates a new tile and does the power up effect with that tile instead. I just mean a controller in general. Like, it's just not how the game was intended to be played, and so the controls like were not designed for that purpose of moving things by 1 pixel. Disco. Welcome back, John B1013 here for subbing with Twitch Prime. How's my week been going? It's good. It's been going good. No, John B, you're a sub now. We say bling disco. There you go. Disco. What's up, Rookie Games? What's up, Chaldo Man? The reason the sub notification overlays my face is twofold. One, I think it's funny because the sub notification is also my face. So it kind of feels like it's, you know, my face is making the sound. The other reason is I don't want it to cover any other part of the screen. I don't want it to cover the gameplay, and I don't want it to cover the timer. Specifically for speedrunning. Where's the cat at? Right there. The last one didn't actually play the clip? I don't know. Let me know if it continues not to. Why do I always throw the shell there? Because I need to scroll the screen left. And in Mario, in order to scroll, you have to press the L shoulder button and no other buttons and hold it down for 15 frames. And so if I didn't throw the shell, I would have to let go of the shell and it would get kicked off disco. So that's a convenient spot where I can throw the shell, just hold L for a few frames to scroll the screen without its yeah, without like kicking the shell off. Disco. gonna take a little bit of caffeine after this run. The block duped up. I needed to dupe to the side for technical reasons. How many people are running this category? 3 maybe? I don't know. Furious and Aaron haven't really done runs the last few days, but they might just be busy. I think Aaron is busy playing the new Fortnite map. And Furious just said he has a hard time finding time to stream now these days, so let's see. So that was about 70 milligrams. A bit less than a cup of coffee. Yeah, Furious had some good ideas for ways to improve the route. He actually also came up with the new berry eat strat. I didn't notice it. Like, I watched him run and I didn't realize that that was what he was doing, so I also independently came up with it. But he also has modified the route a bit, like does things in a little bit of a different order, which I think is slightly faster but also a lot more risky. And he came up with also a way to like stomp on one of the Koopas for a value that you need. Which is also, I think, very risky. Like that one's especially risky because you just like stomp on it while it's walking and hope you get the right spot, like the right position. It's kind of like doing the Koopa bounce at the beginning, where it's very easy for it to be off by a pixel or two if you mistime your jump. Except that one's more reliable. The Koopa bounce at the beginning is more reliable because you have, since you're just holding right for the entire time, you'll always get the same like run speed patterns, and so it'll be very consistent, like how high you jump and stuff. So the one that he's been doing is just like very risky, I think, but I don't know if he'll continue to do that. And I recommended to him that he should just do some runs with easy strategies, just get some PBs under his belt, and then he can kind of estimate or like judge like how hard the route is overall, and whether or not it makes sense to risk losing as many runs as he's going to lose in order to get that time save. How to get any category a minute below what was thought possible. Invite Furious to run it. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But certainly he's got some good ideas for routing in these technical categories. He's contributed a lot to this one, and credits warp. Please. Oh, that was so slow. The Japanese version, I think, is required to speedrun this category. It's not that it's easier to speedrun. It doesn't really have much of an impact. Ah, I was 1 pixel off. Okay, this is good, assuming that's fine. Yeah, eating that berry like that is okay, I think. I'm not 100% sure, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's okay. I don't know why I kind of gave a pause there. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong there. Oh, no. Eating that berry is not okay. Eating that berry would be okay if I held up while I did it, I think. Eating that berry that is on Yoshi's tongue. It's okay if he just eats it by running into it. But if I stick out Yoshi's tongue and it eats the berry, then it overwrites some sprite Y coordinate values. The category isn't that hard, but it requires 2 multi-taps, which most people don't have. Oh, this does work with the USA cartridge? Alright, my bad. Yeah, I mostly use the Japanese cartridge in that case, because I like that the opening cutscene automatically, like, you don't have to mash. So you get, like, some free... You save from some free frames from, like, non-perfect mashing from the opening cutscene. That's the main thing I like about. There's other categories where it does save time to be on the Japanese cartridge for other better reasons. This is gonna be a slow run now. Oh my god. Okay. That's okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, yeah. Didn't look right to me for some reason. Did I discover this glitch? It's a complicated question. I didn't discover the glitch that we use, but I did discover the setup that we use to make the glitch do what it does. I've already done that, Jason. You can check my archive streams. I installed a hex editor on the Switch Virtual Console. Am I winning? We'll see. So far, so good. Like winning versus Bowser, you mean? I'm not winning world record, if that's what you mean. But I think I can probably beat Bowser. World record is my PB, so you can see it's the 251.53. Uh-oh. Oh, that was good. No! Oh, okay, that's fine. I can still salvage this. I mean, as in, like, finish the run, not... That was a good last phase. I'm not even gonna wait to see the credits. I just want to start a new run. Disco. I won! Yay! I beat the game. I beat Super Mario World. Finally, after all these years. I finally beat it. What parts need improvement? I mean, in my run? Like from that run, the just a lot of the spits were very slow to get into position. Spits and pixel perfect stuff. I was very slow to get them into position. That's generally what's slow. I mean, that's most of what takes the time in the run is getting to the correct, standing on the correct pixel before I do whatever I need to do. Where can I improve my PB? In the PB, a lot of those pixels were pretty slow. Like I didn't land on the right pixel first try, and like it took me a little while to adjust to be on the correct pixel. I mean, obviously it was decent, but that's where most of the time can be saved. Oh, no. I accidentally didn't... I was supposed to press down before I pressed any other buttons there, but I kind of pressed down and left at the same time, in the same frame, usually. And that time I pressed left before I pressed down, and it messed up my pixel. I'm pretty excited. Today we're going to go look at some carpet. Finally get some carpet for the house. We've been without carpet for the last year and somewhat, so a few months. Just like there's a lot of work we wanted to do on the house, and like having carpet was going to make it harder, so we just decided to do the work we wanted to do and then get carpet, but it was pretty slow to get all the work done. We had like some holdups along the way. Oh, I got the 2 Koopa thing. Yeah, what I need to do there maybe is like figure out where else I can put the whoops, do that spit so that I can load up a little bit earlier. Shoot, I don't know. I think it's this bump. I'm not 100% sure. So this should warp to credits, but it might not. Sorry, warp to Bowser, but it might not play the credits. Am I ever gonna try SMB3 any percent again? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not married, but I'm living with my girlfriend. How do you even begin to find out what moves does what to the memory of the game? I can answer that. If you Google SMW RAM map, you'll find a page on SMW Central that lists off what memory addresses are used to keep track of what game state. And so that's a really, really good starting point. There are times where you just need to like figure out what a memory address is used for. For instance, like when I was trying to figure out how to do this, I noticed that I could get the game to do something based on address. Let's see, what was the address? 1829, I think is the address. And I noticed that like 1829 had a like pretty good value, but it wasn't quite what I needed. So I needed to figure out what the value, like what set that value, and that was just from like after some gameplay, I noticed that address had a good value. That was like almost useful. And so I looked up on the RAM map what it was, but I also could just like play the game a bit using RAM Watch to see when that value changed. And it was pretty easy to tell like that it was related to things like Yoshi eggshells and yeah. Anyway, the RAM map is the main way. Disco. There are some things the RAM map doesn't really tell you about, like OAM, which is actually used in this run a bit. So I had to figure those out for myself. OAM is a part of memory that's used to draw the sprites on screen. And so OAM is basically a bunch of 4-byte blocks that contains the X coordinate, Y coordinate, tile ID, and tile properties. Disco. For drawing sprites onto the screen. And different OAM addresses are used to draw different sprites on the screen. And a couple of them are used in this run. And like, for instance, there's an OAM address that draws white splats on the screen when you like bounce on a Koopa or whatever, or kick a shell or a bunch of other things. And so we have to have that on screen at a certain X coordinate in order for this route to work. Has to be at an X coordinate of 18. Has to be an X coordinate of 18 because of that aforementioned 1829 memory address. Anyway. So I had to figure out what a lot of those OAM addresses do by just playing the game a bunch. There's not really like a map out there of what they do, unfortunately. I don't know if that Koopa bounce was good, but it might have been. Okay, I didn't actually scroll the screen. When you're doing all these different moves, is it in a way reprogramming the game to go to Bowser? Sort of. Not exactly. I don't know, that's how I would describe it. Disco. When I'm doing all these moves, it's manipulating the code that gets executed by the processor as the result of the item swap glitch. And so, as a result of that item swap glitch, I do actually like cause the game to execute some code from memory that I've manipulated. Disco. But it's a one-time thing. I wouldn't say it's like I'm recoding the game. It's just like I'm causing the game to run some of my code and then letting the game take control again. Yeah, it's called arbitrary code execution. That was definitely good. How long am I planning to stream for? Not too long. Amy has a meeting at like 1:30 or something, and then after that I think we're gonna go look for carpet. She's gonna take a break from work and we're gonna go. Any more SMW jailbreak stuff? Nope. Is resetting part of the setup, or is it because I messed up something? It's always because I messed up something. You'll notice that the timer restarts every time I reset, because it's a new run each time. And like, when I reset or whatever, it doesn't have any impact on the run. You actually can have two Yoshis alive at the same time, but only one will get rendered, and it causes all sorts of weird glitches and stuff because the game really only assumes that there will ever be one Yoshi loaded at a time. But in the to do like power-up incrementation, you actually do have two Yoshis. In fact, in the current credits warp world record, we actually get a second Yoshi loaded. And it doesn't like impact the run at all, but it's just a consequence of the block duplication and then hitting the other Yoshi block real quick. Can I show you? Yeah, maybe. Ah, that's so slow when that happens. Alright, well, this run's dead. And dead, by dead I mean dead in terms of getting a world record. Basically, you have to spawn two Yoshi eggs before the first, the second Yoshi egg before the first one finishes the animation of breaking and becoming Yoshi. Because it'll allow a second Yoshi egg to spawn as long as there isn't a actual Yoshi on screen. Oof. You've been subbed to me on YouTube over 6 years? That's cool. That's a while. I think most of my subs have been subbed to me over 6 years, though, to be honest. Like probably over half. I got a lot of my subs before it's like 2014. I think most. I don't know if it is most, because I do lose a lot of subs and gain a lot of subs every day, like on the order of like 1,000. So maybe that's not true. But here, I'll show you. Dual Yoshis. Oops. Okay. How do you check how long you've been to sub to someone on YouTube? I don't know. But yeah, you can probably tell just based on like what your oldest video you've seen of mine is or whatever. There you go. So there's 2 Yoshis. One of them is currently invisible. I can get on the invisible one. And there's some interesting things that happen. So if you jump off the invisible Yoshi, its location kind of gets reset, like back to where it was. So it's kind of still thinks it's right here. But your location gets reset to wherever the visible Yoshi is. So if I jump off right now, it suddenly looks like I spring up like to right here. And then, like I said, the invisible Yoshi is right here. So if you put the visible Yoshi somewhere like down here, and then I'm on the invisible Yoshi right now, and then you like jump off it right here. Oh wait, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Or maybe, wait. Oh no, I guess it's, oh, never mind. It goes to the Y coordinate of the, okay, yeah, okay. So what I need to do is that. So I need to like get the invisible Yoshi down onto the ground here. Where is he? Oh, I'm on both Yoshis now. There we go. Now I'm just on the invisible Yoshi and he's on the ground. And so if I spin jump off right here, it'll reset my Y coordinate down below. There's some other things with it, but anyway. It's pretty weird stuff, but it's not generally too useful for speedrunning. I think some people have used it for speedrunning in ROM hacks though. Because you can kind of like, it's kind of like a way of warping almost vertically. Let's see, I'm gonna delay this. Can I do that? Oh, I can't actually do that. Okay. Could I use that to die faster than with the mole? Not really. I can't use that sprite slot up really. Well, maybe I could. Nice. Come on, move a pixel. Ooh, that was close. One more pixel. No, come back. I wasn't sure what he was gonna do, so I didn't want to, like... Anyway. That was good. One more pixel, please. Oh my god. Alright. God, I keep needing to move one pixel, and I'm like tapping the controller, and it's not quite registering an input. That's frustrating. It's really hard to provide just the amount of pressure you need to actually get the controller to register the input, but like not so much pressure that you keep pressing it for several frames. Thanks for the 30 bits. I am Calafalas. Calafalas. And hello. Yeah, 6 years ago was before I started speedrunning Super Mario World. I started in 2014. April, I think. Disco. How did I learn the Bowser fight with Cloud, and was it hard? No, it's just hard. It's very difficult to control. You're kind of indirectly controlling something that controls the Bowser fight, and like you just have to learn to become intuitive with the physics of the Cloud. Become one with the Cloud. Yeah, no, it's just a hard fight. Oh, I overshot by a lot. Alright, but that was good. Got back on the right pixel immediately. No, 1 pixel, please. Oh. Really don't need. Okay. That was really good, though. That part was really good. I don't think I'm on pace, but that saved a lot of time. Yeah, I think my Bowser fight was too good in my PB to overtake that with 140 deficit. I don't think I can save a minute or a second 40, but still a good run. Yeah. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Okay. Yeah, I made the Cloud go down too fast, and so I accidentally got in the Cloud rather than jumping on the other Mecha Koopa. You keep losing the Cloud when trying to skip the Bowser animation. That's because you're holding jump too long. So you need to hold up and left, and then you need to hold jump for a very short amount of time. So as in, just tap it as briefly as you can. Shorter the better. I never explained how I got to power up state 15 when doing the Switch jailbreak. I think I just did the slow ace to get it. rather than doing the fast ace. Does this still require that second controller with the multi-tap? Yeah, you need a second multi-tap and 3 extra controllers with buttons held down. Do I think it's feasible for a human to come close... What? To a task warp stage. I don't know what that means. Hello, La La Land. I know what task means. I don't know what a task warp stage is. What it means to come close to it. There's no current task for this run, no. You mean the perfect precise inputs on the warp to Bowser. Do I think it's close for a person to come close to the perfect precise inputs? No, I guess. That question needs to be a lot more specific. Like, yeah. Like, it takes me a minute, what is it? It's like a minute 30, yeah. A minute 42 to warp to Bowser, whereas a task could do it in like, 30 seconds or something. And like, by doing things that a human could never do. So, like, if that's what you mean, then no. Like, not even close. Yeah, it would look a lot like the... Actually, yeah, not only that. So, yeah, so basically, the reason that it would be so fast is it would basically follow the credits warp route, the credits warp task route. It would look very similar. It is just go straight to the item swap and do that item swap right away, and then press like billions of different combinations on your controller per second in order to feed a bunch of code into the game. And you can put like kind of arbitrary code, like arbitrary amounts of code in there very, very fast, like within a couple seconds. Man, didn't jump short enough. Ugh. God. This run is way behind PB. Didn't mean to turn around there. I wish I hadn't. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but facing left is a little bit faster than facing right because you have to do 2 scrolls if you're facing right. Why does execution jump to the sprite table anyway? It's a complicated result of all the memory manipulation I do. But yeah, I do have a video on the credits warp that explains how that works. Like, it tells you what all the pieces of memory are that need to be modified to make that work. Oh, come on. But yeah, so like a task kill Bowser run. In fact, Master June did something kind of like it already. If you look at his April Fool's task submission from like 2 years ago or something, he did a warp to Bowser, but then he also like had it automatically beat Bowser by like trying every possible set of controller inputs. And it was like a inputs end after 2 minutes, but the run will continue. Like you won't actually beat Bowser until after the Heat Death of the Universe sort of thing. Yeah, thank you, the Unlocked. Oh, yeah, so that's one of the videos. Anyway, so what would happen, what the route would look like, I'm just going to reset. What the route would look like is you would just go straight to the item swap. You would spend a couple seconds inputting different like code at 60, like 60 different button press combinations per second. And then it would like inject code that would warp you to Bowser and also immediately beat Bowser. And so the entire run would be timed at like 40 seconds, 50 seconds tops. As opposed to this, 2-minute, 48-second run. So like, that's not what you were asking about, I'm sure. But that's kind of why I'm saying like the question was not nearly specific enough. Ooh, I'm on the right pixel. Come on, do the thing correctly this time. No! I can't do the thing correctly. Oh, that was good though. Okay, that was also good. I don't know if I don't think that was right. I don't think that pixel was right. This might warp to Bowser, but I don't think it's gonna play the credits. But the run is pretty fast. It's possible it was right. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, the run is pretty fast. It's on pace. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna play the credits after the Bowser fight, and that is one of the requirements of the category. So we'll see. We'll see. I was kind of rushed on that pixel. Didn't get a good look at whether it was right or not. Didn't seem like it was though. No! Ah. Alright. I'm still gonna try and kill Bowser because I do want to see if the credits are gonna play. So I think what's gonna happen is that it's gonna restart the Bowser fight after the fireworks. But let's see. It's a good time to stretch a little bit. Pet a kitty if you got one. Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, I woke him up. Good boy. It's okay. Alright, I shouldn't have woke him up. Would it have been world record? Nope. Okay. No guilt. Excellent. When I'm writing, when I'm shooting the fireballs with the Koopas, it's writing the code that sends me to Bowser on death, and it's also writing the code that will play the credits after Bowser dies. And so I messed up one of those pixels that determined whether to play the credits after Bowser dies. What? Wait, did I glitch the berry? I did, okay. Cool. Hey, I did the thing. It just didn't seem like I glitched the berry. I don't know. It's too bad. These are pretty good spits. If I had just not gone to check on that berry, this would actually be on a pretty good pace. Oh, okay. Their run would have died right there. So, no worries. Also there. If this was a warp to the fireworks, might be able to, like, that might actually allow you to do some cool things. Or if their run was like a speed run to get fireworks. Oh, hello. Okay. I think. Okay. Disco. Yeah, I wonder if you could get the fireworks to spawn, like, directly without fighting Bowser. I don't know. I don't know how that works. No, the credits warp skips the fireworks and also the actual credits. It goes directly to like the second page of the enemy list. Oh god. Okay. I remember some speedrunner accidentally spawning Peach and fireworks in YI2 while doing Ace? Really? I don't think I saw that one. That'd be pretty crazy. You know what run I kind of miss? It's the 11 exit code injection. That run was awesome. That was just a fun run. Disco. What did that run do? So the purpose of that run was to get arbitrary code execution banned in 11 exit. For a while after credits warp was discovered, there was no official ban on arbitrary code execution in 11 exit, but the name of the category and the rules implied that you had to beat 11 exits before killing Bowser. That is specifically like YI2, YI3, YI4, DP1, DS1, DGH, Star World 1 through 4. And then fight Bowser and kill him. But there was no explicit ban on arbitrary code execution because people figured, well, maybe there's a way to like make the category more interesting by using arbitrary code execution for some small, you know, advantage. And so let's allow it and just see if it becomes a problem. And so I made it a problem. And so the 11 exit code injection was like, we installed like a little miniature cheat engine almost. Oh, just one guy, please. Ah, couldn't get in position in time. I'm gonna, oh no, okay. Right, that's why I can't get that guy. Would have been decent except for that second spit. It was, I did a SGDQ, or no, AGDQ submission for 11 exit code injection. And it's supposed to be a race between the code injection versus the actual 11 exit category route, like with the cloud. But it got rejected. But basically, you would spend like 6 minutes or something doing an arbitrary code execution setup to like install a cheat engine that would let you beat levels instantly, either with the normal exit or the keyhole exit. And it also let you like glitch out various things in Bowser's Castle to get through it a little bit faster. Yeah, you can link the video. Yeah. I wasn't paying a lot of attention to that. I don't know if you could tell. But yeah, it's a fun one to watch. I actually think so. The one you linked is the world record that I used to get the arbitrary code execution ban. But the better video is the one on the SGDQ submission, because that one I actually commentated and like disco, and it was just a lot cleaner. Actually, it wasn't that clean. That wasn't that clean. I think I died. But it was like much better commentated at least. Ah. Would a run where you beat 11 levels and then do the kill Bowser strat be valid? You mean beat 11 levels and then do arbitrary code execution? If so, then no, because we banned arbitrary code execution. If you mean beat 11 levels and then use the cloud, then that's the current strategy. And so yes, it would be allowed. Yeah, it's the one. Thank you. The other cool thing about that one is it actually required 2 players. Disco. Well, it didn't necessarily strictly require 2 players, but the second player needed to hold down certain buttons on some of the controllers. And so it was really a co-op run. In a co-op run of a 1-player game. Which is pretty funny. But that one was just like, I loved how extreme that one was in just, in a very short amount of time, doing something that just totally broke the game, like, really, really, really hard. I thought I was in the right pixel, but I wasn't. Why do you get a cloud during the item swap? So you're not supposed to be able to charge and chuck, but we use the item swap glitch to do it anyway. And whenever you eat an enemy, there's a flag that says whether or not it gives you a power-up, and for charge and chuck, it happens to be set because they never disable the flag because, again, you weren't supposed to be able to eat them. And so when you eat the charge and chuck, it gives you a power-up and it runs some code. And the power-up that it gives you and the code that it runs are basically nonsensical because, again, the charge and chuck was never supposed to be eaten. So it gives you a cloud and it runs some code from a place where we can manipulate it into running arbitrary code. Can I explain the origin story of the Tijuana hats? I went to Tijuana and bought a hat. riveting. I know. I think that's no good. No, actually that might be fine. Man, that keeps happening on that pixel. I keep trying to, like, I keep landing 1 pixel short, and then I'm trying to move 1 pixel, and I move 2 pixels. That's so frustrating. On that pixel specifically. Just can't move 1 pixel to the left. See you, Recon. How are the runs today? They're fine. I should let you know that the run might end, or the stream might end at any point, because I'm gonna go carpet shopping. As soon as Amy tells me that she's done with her meeting and wants to go carpet shopping. Exclamation PB chance. Boy, that voice recognition's getting kind of shoddy. Left off the E at the end of chance. Just kidding. Thanks, C-Cohen. So it's just random that the charge and check happens to give you cloud? Yeah, pretty much. It's not random in the sense that it changes every time and it gives you a random item, but it is random in the sense that no one planned for it to do it. And that's just what it happens to be. Oh, thank you, Walrus. Disco. The keyboard column with the letter after O, that's P, broke, but at least you can still watch me. The column with the letter, like, what is, I don't know what that column is, like, keyboard keys don't really have columns, right? Is that like 0p semicolon slash? Or like minus P semicolon period, or like, just kind of curious. What do you mean? Not that you can like, oh, use the 4 characters to the left of the column, and you can let us know. Disco. should get a new keyboard. Or fix that one. Yeah, look good. He got confused by the fact that we're beating Bowser. Well, yeah, no, you don't have to beat Bowser to beat the game. If you're willing to compromise with what you mean by beating the game. The letters after 90L... Wait, what? And control. Control? Your control is in a weird place. Huh. Weird. So are you... I guess P is the only letter you can't really use then. Disco. This category is sweet. I wish more people would run it. I really would love to see it become a main category. I think it has like the philosophical underpinnings to qualify for a main category. But it just doesn't have the runners. If a lot of people ran it, it would be a main category, I think. How hard is it to learn the route? It's not that hard if you know how to do the item swap. Basically, I would recommend, if you wanted to learn this from scratch, go follow my tutorial for the newbie credits warp setup. And then once you can do that one, this one is not hard at all to learn. It's like pretty similar in a lot of ways. And you can run it on BizHawk. Because you need the 2 multi-taps to be emulated. Or on console if you got 2 multi-taps. Multi-taps, I think, are like $30 a piece. Controllers are like 10 to 15, maybe. Consoles like 60. Cartridge is like 10 to 15, I think. It's been a while since I bought any of those things, but those were the prices when I last checked. So it's like 2 multi-taps is about as expensive as the console. And then the controllers are also about as expensive as the console. Actually, yeah, I think controllers are more like 15 to 20. It didn't stick out Yoshi's tongue. No, you don't need 2 multi-taps to jailbreak through Mario World. In fact, I came out with a single controller route. You don't even need a second controller. How would I say this warp's difficulty compares to the credits warp? Disco. It's a lot easier. The current, well, it depends which route you're talking about. If you're talking about the world record route, though, the world record route for credits warp is stupid hard. Whereas this is like, I don't know, 1 in 30 maybe. Maybe even better than that. No, it's probably more like 1 in 20. Disco. I don't think that Koopa bounce was good. Is there anything cool you can do with this game and cartridge tilting? The thing about cartridge tilting is it's really unreliable. It does like, yeah, it just does hard, like it's hard to control anything with cartridge tilting. Ooh, nice. By nice, I mean this run sucks. Yeah, this run's real bad. I hate this game. Cartridge tilting is when you tilt the cartridge. It's when you tilt the cartridge for the purpose of making the contacts, electrical contacts between the cartridge and the console worse, so that data doesn't get passed correctly between the cartridge and the console. And there have been cases of cartridge tilting causing interesting results because like the game's code isn't getting run correctly. But I don't know that anyone has ever really like been able to reproduce any results from cartridge tilting ever. Like it's that's probably not true. There probably have been, but it's just notoriously unreliable to do anything. Cartridge tilting deleted your save ones. That I believe. By interesting results, you mean possible exploits? Yeah, I mean, anything's possible if you're, like, changing what code actually runs. But... Disco. So, like, possible, yes, but, like, reproducible? Probably not. So... Also, it's illegal, according to speedrun rules, so... I don't think it's ever written anywhere, but no one would ever allow your run if you use cartridge tilting. Can any emulators emulate cartridge tilting? Again, like, no. I mean, it's like, it's kind of like asking if an emulator can emulate one of those like punching bag arcade machines where you have to like punch the thing, punch the thing as hard as you can, and like you get a score based on how hard you punched it. It's like, well, you can emulate it insofar as like you can emulate the electrical signals that go on inside it, but like, is that going to be an accurate reflection of someone's physical strength? Does it actually like? So yeah, you can emulate cart tilting in that sense, if you want to like define what cart tilting means, but it's not really going to match what happens in real life because it's a very like Newtonian physics-based phenomenon. You're like physically moving a cart, and like there's electrical contacts that are having their, you know, conductivity changed and stuff. Do I feel like my PB attempts are independent of one another, or do I feel streaks? I don't think they're exactly independent of one another. I think they depend on how warmed up I am and stuff, but, whoops. I don't think one run affects the adjacent runs, like, psychologically, necessarily. It's more like they're correlated just because of, like, muscle memory varies over time. So yeah, they're correlated, but I don't think it's that much of a psychological effect that causes the correlation. Ooh, nice. Nice. Darn it. Okay, well, this part's gonna be really slow, because I have to wait for them to walk all the way over here. But I am doing the spits okay. Yeah, those were pretty good spits. Like, this is still on pace. That was a bit slow. I don't think I can make up that amount of time. PB Chance doesn't either. Yeah, that was just unfortunate. The second Koopa fell off the ledge there. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it doesn't. There's not a lot I can do to control that. Oh, really? What the hell? What? That was ridiculous. What? I don't know what happened there. I tried like 4 times to get the phase skip and none of them worked. Ah, crap. I wasn't paying enough attention. Actually, that was okay. Ah, that was a little slow. That was really weird. A good fight except for that phase skip. Alright, I think I am going to call the stream here. Because I need to go carpet shopping sometime soon, I think. Such timing to arrive, yeah. You feel like it could be cool to use my controller inputs to provide many more time splits so as to get a highly detailed sense of pacing during each run. Basically, certain sequences of button presses might trigger certain splits. That's an interesting idea that I haven't really heard before. It'd be tricky to get it to work, for sure. I also don't currently have my inputs, like, going into my computer, but that is something I would like to do someday. But yeah. It's a little tricky to do. I'm not sure I could really code it myself, like, and wire everything up myself. No, maybe I could. It'd be easier to use USB to SNES and monitor RAM. I don't really want to use my SD to SNES for this. It theoretically could have an effect on the run because SD to SNES clears RAM before it loads the ROM, as opposed to leaving the default RAM state. And like, I don't think it's likely to, and it'd probably be fine, but I just personally would prefer to do this with actual hardware. Yeah, it would be really nice if I could get it to like detect when I've made each spit or whatever, because I do the same spits in the same order every time, more or less almost, and so it would be really cool to see like which spits were slow, which spits were fast, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I don't think it's gonna happen in the near future, but that's a really cool idea, Nordy. I've never heard of that idea before, doing it based on the inputs. Yeah, you could do. I could imagine some heuristics that would allow you to do that, though. It'd be really tricky, though. I'm not thinking it would take as much hardcore engineering as like kludgy, kludgy heuristics. Anyway, that's a cool idea. I'll think about that. But I'm gonna end the stream here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to the Minecraft marathon next week, so probably no streams until I get back from that. So that's the Minecraft marathon if you're interested in watching. It's always a fun time. It's a 48-hour marathon benefiting Extra Life. And so it's Friday from 6 p.m. to, it's for the kids, yeah. It's Friday from 6 p.m., next Friday, not this Friday. 6 p.m. Pacific time to Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. 48 hours. I like that we're starting 3 hours earlier this year. I always thought it was really dumb that we started at midnight Eastern time. 9 p.m. Eastern time is still a little late to get started, in my opinion, but it's a lot better. I think it should be still probably 3 hours earlier. But I am not at all involved in the planning, so I really have no voice. But yeah, thank you, Nordy, for linking that. But yeah, I'll be there all weekend. I'll only be on the stream some of the time because I'm going to be sleeping some of the time. But there's going to be some fun stuff like Blindfolded Legos making a return. Battleship Twister should be making a return. I'm apparently going to be in a baking segment, and I have no idea how to bake at all. Like, anyway, that's going to be weird. There's like a stretch goal for a Hot Ones challenge. I don't know. There's all sorts of fun stuff planned. There's going to be 2 UHCs, charity UHCs. So those are always really wacky because you can donate to give us items and stuff. I'm not doing sliced. I'm doing I think it's called the Great Sliced Bake Off. Anyway. Maybe it'll be Mario themed. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, you guys should definitely check out the stream next Friday and Saturday and Sunday. They're not calling it baked. I kind of like that, actually. Baked. It's a charity live stream for the kids, okay, guys? Anyway. So yeah, check that out. If you want to see me, that's where you'll see me. Anyway. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.